This is Kyle D. with Taylor Ryan, and we're here today for episode 2 of our 5-minute interview series. This podcast is brought to you by Taylor Ryan, a strategic search and talent acquisition partner specializing in construction and engineering, real estate, development, and accounting and finance. If you're building a team or looking for your next great career move, check them out at taylorryan.com. This month, we're joined by Bryan Reid, president of Kindred Construction, a full-service, multi-market builder delivering commercial, mixed-use, custom home, and institutional projects across the Lower Mainland for over 40 years. Bryan has over a decade in the industry, starting with commercial leasing and moving into senior leadership for Kindred in 2011. Bryan, thanks for joining us. We'll get right to it. What key characteristics or traits are you looking for when you sit down and you're interviewing a candidate for a role?
I think I'm looking for comfort, inquisitiveness, an honest assessment of their abilities, and of course, experience and track record. Perhaps most importantly, though, it's what you find out when the interview's done. Again, this is a small industry. It's a very small circle of people and professionals. And so you can do your homework and find out a lot about people with a couple phone calls. So interviews, it's speed dating. It's very quick in trying to gauge somebody and learn a lot about them. Finding out about somebody when you're able to call a colleague or somebody else in the business who's spent a year, however many months with somebody, you'll get a lot more out of that than you will in that interview.
Comfort and inquisitiveness. Those are interesting characteristics that I don't think I've heard near the top of the list. Inquisitiveness, of course, makes sense. Someone who's engaged and asking questions about your organization and your people. Can you clarify what you mean by comfort?
Yeah, I think it's somebody being comfortable in their own skin. You don't need to overpitch yourself. If you can honestly assess what you are good at. And I think if somebody comes in and exudes a level of comfort, not necessarily overbearing confidence, but just there's an ease of dialogue. They know what they bring to the table and they want us to be a place that's going to appreciate that. And if they come in with that honest assessment, that level of comfort, it comes across very well.
Honest assessment is a great point as well. A lot of hiring managers and senior leaders are looking for people who know what they know and hopefully know to a certain extent what they don't know. What is the hardest part about hiring in construction?
Probably similar to that. It's judging someone's capabilities and who they are as a person in a very quick time frame. It's an exceedingly competitive landscape to get good people. Talent is rare and it's difficult to find. And so you're in a very short window trying to assess someone's capabilities, trying to see whether they're a fit within the landscape of your company. And then you need to sell yourself. We are competing for talent. If somebody's really good, there's more than just Kindred that's going to want them. And so we need to show them why we're the right choice. It's not just whether or not we're engaging them, but it's reciprocated. They need to make sure that we're the right space for them as well.
Yeah, that's a great point, and something we often reiterate in recruitment is to go to the interview with some questions in mind for the organization or the person that's interviewing you, because so many people get wrapped up in thinking that they're being interviewed for this role, which is of course true, but you should also remember that you're interviewing them as well to make sure that they're the right fit for you. Shifting gears a little bit from potentially career professional type questions, what really matters to you?
I think relationships matter. This is a commoditized business. We sell people. And so if you're not in the business of enjoying the people that you work with, of building lasting relationships and creating that culture of trust, it's going to be a pretty exhausting day to day. And so I think what matters most to me, certainly in the business world, is probably personally as well. It's just being around people that you care about and you trust, and establishing close bonded relationships.
That's a great answer, and it's something that I'm starting to hear more and more in these interviews, in discussions with senior leaders, that the people you surround yourself with at work are what really matter, and that's what you really want to invest in. You invest in the people, and that's how you invest in the business, is through those people.
100%. I think that, like for all of us that have day jobs, we spend more time at work than we do with our family. And if you're working with people that you don't want to spend time with, it's going to be a challenging. It's super challenging to be motivated to get to work and to work hard and enjoy what you do. And you have to surround yourself by people that you see eye to eye with and that you can trust and you want to go to war with.
How do you maintain high performance without running into burnout?
I think, again, you have to enjoy what you do, and you have to enjoy who you're doing it with. There will be at times that you just have to put in the hours. I don't think that there's any substitute for that. But it's being cognizant of where those hours are spent, so that when you are working at 9 o'clock at night, you're doing something that you're enjoying, and it's not firefighting. It's something that you appreciate. You know that you're bringing value, and you know it's for somebody that is going to respect and enjoy and reciprocate that relationship as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think if I've got the saying right, it's working hard for something you believe in is called passion, and working hard for something that you don't is called stress. What is the best piece of advice you would give, or you do give, young professionals in the early stages of their career?
If you provide the work ethic, and if you provide the effort, it will not go unnoticed. I think that there's a culture now of wanting more than somebody is perhaps ready for. They want everything immediately. Those that put their noses down and do it, certainly here anyways, it's noticed and rewarded. So don't try to take shortcuts. Don't ask for more than you're ready for. Just put in the work.
That's a classic sort of mentality, which is you have to demonstrate that you have the ability first, do the work first, and then you get the increased title and responsibility and everything else that goes along with it. It doesn't go the other way. What's the best thing about working in construction from your perspective?
I think it's pretty unique and amazing to have a tangible, visible impact on the communities that you're a part of. Certainly growing up, I remember going for drives with my dad, and the pride and passion that he had in seeing a building that his fingerprints were on was something pretty magical, and I feel the same way now. And so we're driving over Canby Street Bridge, and I see South Creek Landing. I'm sitting there, I'm going, that was really amazing. And you're able to go back to that time in your life when you were part of something that you truly built something unique that's a benefit to so many people. So I think that is something that's really special about construction. And then again, it's that you form these really strong bonds because when you work with someone, you're in the trenches with them and you're there for a long time. Construction's not a hit it and you're out kind of thing. It's several years. It's you get to know somebody and you get to know the good and the bad, and those relationships are lasting.
Awesome. And what a great thing to be living in the community where your projects are built and constructed, and you've got, like you said, in your day-to-day, all those reminders of experiences and successes and failures, and you get to relive those moments every time you pass by.
Yeah, the reminders of failures are a little challenging, but yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to drive around town, and I've got little kids now, and the ability to show them something that we're a part of is it's fun.
What are the markers of a good company culture?
I think respect, integrity, formed friendships, differences of opinions that are not just passively allowed, but actively engaged in and understood, and then diversity within your group. And then I guess the markers of just being fun and enjoyable atmosphere. So if you've got an office that people want to come to and not necessarily leave at the end of the day, when the clock strikes 5, they're not, out the door. I think that's the what you're looking to build and foster within your walls.
Sounds a lot like a family, kind of like you touched on earlier. And what is the end goal for Kindred?
I'm not sure. We're actually going through a program right now where I was asked to say, where do I want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then 25 years. And the 25-year column I left blank because I wasn't totally sure. I think that the end goal is for us to have created a company that everybody wants to work at. If we've established ourselves as the employer of choice, I think the rest can take care of itself. And I don't think that we've set our sights on a specific project volume, dollar volume, headcount, geographic reach. I think that those, Matt and I will have goals that we establish for incremental steps and years out. I think that the end goal would be for that everybody that knows of Kindred in the industry, if they don't work here, they'd like to work here, and they think highly of us as a group.
Excellent. Yeah. Building a sort of legacy and a reputation. And yeah. Well, thank you, Bryan. It's been an absolute pleasure. Appreciate your time. For those listening, make sure to follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn so you don't miss our next episode, where my goal is always to ask the questions that get the answers you didn't know you were looking for. You never know until you ask.